Welcome back with a new math tutorial. In this video, we'll make a revision on chapter 10. So in question number 1, we need to write each of the following as a decimal. We have 4 10. The first part that we have, which is 4, and the second part, which is 10. Because we have THS, it means this number written at denominator. So we have here 4 over 10. Now we need to write it as a decimal. Just we write 4 without any change. Because we have 10 at denominator, it means we just count one digit from the right, then put the decimal point. So the answer now will be equal 0.4. In question number 2, we have 2300. We will divide it into two parts. The first part, which is 23, and the second part, which is 100. 23 will be written up as a numerator, and 100 will be written down. So we have here 23 over 100. Now we need to write it as a decimal. Just we write 23. Because we have 100 down, it means we have 2 zeros. So we'll put the decimal point after 2 digits from the right. So we just count 1, 2, then put the decimal point. So the answer now will be equal 0.23. In this question, we need to shade each one. We need 3 out of 10. 3 out of 10, it means we just shade 3 parts. After that, we need to write the other decimal. 3 out of 10, it means 3 over 10. To write it as a decimal will be equal to, just write the numerator without any change. Now 10 we have only 1 0, so we just count from the right one digit, then put the point. So the answer now will be equal 0.3. In question number 4, we have 8 out of 10. So we'll shade 8 parts. Now we need to write the other decimal. 8 out of 10, it means 8 over 10. If you need to write it as a decimal, we just write the numerator without any change. Because we have 10, so we put the decimal point after one digit from the right. So the answer now will be equal 0.8. In question 5, we have 4 out of 10. 4 out of 10, it means we'll shade only 4 parts. And if we need to write it as a decimal, so we'll just write it as 4 over 10. 4 over 10, just write 4. 10 now, it means we'll put the decimal point after one digit from the right. 39 out of 100. Just write 39 out of 100. And we will shade 39 square. If you need to write it as a decimal, just write 39. Because we have 100, just count 2 digits from the right, then put the decimal point, so the answer now will be equal 0.39. In question number 7, we need to write 0.8 as a fraction, with denominator equals 10. Then we need to shade. At the first, I need to write it as a fraction. As we said before, to write it as a fraction, write the number at the right of the decimal point without any change. Now with the fraction part. Because we have only one digit at the right of the decimal point, it means we have 1 0 down. So it will be equals 8 over 10. Now in question number 8, we need to represent 0.41 as a fraction, with the denominator equals 100. So to write 0.41, we just write the number at the right of the decimal point without any change. Write the fraction bar. Now we have 2 digits at the right of the decimal, it means we have 2 zeros down. So the answer now will be equals 41 over 100. After that, we need to write each decimal. Now we have only 3 squares. We said before, this shape represented by 100 square. So it will be 3 shaded square out of 100. If we need to write it as a decimal, just we write the numerator. Now we have 100 down. It means we will put the decimal point after 2 places from the right. Then put the 0. So the answer now will be equal 0.03. But in question number 10, we have 4 columns. Each column represented by 10. So we have 10, 20, 30, 40. After that, we will count the small square. 41, 42, 43, 44. So it will be 44 out of 100. If we need to write it as a decimal, just we write 44. Because we have 2 zeros down, so we'll put the decimal point after 2 digits from the right. So it will be 0.44. In question number 11, we will count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it will be 6 out of 10. Which equals, just write 6. Because we have 10, it means we'll put the decimal point after 1 digit from the right. So it will be equal 0.6. In question number 12, we have only 5 squares. So it will be 5. We know that this shape is 100 square. So it will be 5 out of 100. To write it as a decimal, just we write 5. Then count 2 digits from the right. and instead of the missing number, we replace it with 0. So it will be equal 0.05. The same in question number 30. Count how many columns that we have. You will find that we have 6 columns. After that, we count the small squares. So it will be 3. So 6 columns, it means 60. And 3 small squares, it means 63. So it will be 63 out of 100. Now we need to write it as a decimal. So it will be equal 63. Because we have 100 down, it means we'll put the decimal point after 2 digits from the right. So the answer now will be equal 0.63. In this question, we need to write each fraction as an equivalent fraction with denominator equals 100. Then we need to write it as a decimal. At the first, we have 9 over 10. To make the denominator equals 100, just we need to multiply by 10. So 9 times 10 equals 9. 9 over 10 in the decimal form now will be equals 0.9. Because we just write 9 and put the decimal point after 1 digit from the right. It will be the same as, just we write 9 and we have 2 zeros down, so we just count 2 digits, then put the decimal point. The same in question number 50. We need to make the denominator equals to 100, so just multiply it by 10 down. The same will be with 3, so 3 times 10 equal to 30. Now we need to write it as a decimal. 3 over 10 is equal to 0.3. Because we just write 3 and put the decimal point after 1 digit. Now we have 30 over 100. Just write 30 and 100, so we count 2 digits from the right, put the decimal point, so the answer now will be equal 0.30. In this question, we need to add. To add any 2 fractions, they must have the same denominator. The first fraction is 2 over 10 plus 36 over 100. We can't add 2 fractions with different denominators. So we need to add them. So to add them, we need to make a common denominator. We will make a common denominator if we can make the denominator equals 100, just by multiplying by 10. As we multiply 10 by 10, so multiply 2 by 10, it will be 20. Now we have 20 over 100 plus 36 over 100. So we can add them. So just write 100 down. 0 and 6 equals 6. 2 and 3 equals to 5. Now we have 56 over 100. To write it as a decimal, just write 56 and put the decimal point after 2 digits from the right. So it will be 0.56. You will find the same in question number 17. 7 over 10 plus 13 over 100. You will find that we have 2 different denominators. To add them, you need to make a common denominator. So we just need to add 0 up and 0 down, because we will multiply 7 by 10 and 10 by 10 to make the 2 denominators equals 100. Because now we have a common denominator, just write 100 down and add them. 0 and 3 equal to 3. 7 and 1 equals to 8. So the answer now is 83 over 100. If we need to write it as a decimal, just write 83. Because we have 100 down, so just put the decimal point after 2 digits from the right. So the answer now will be equal 0.83. In question number 18, we need to order from the greats to the smallest. At the first, I will write the numbers. So we have here 0.3, 0.23, 0.61. To arrange the number, they must have the same number of digits at the right of the decimal point. Because if you look at the left at the whole number, you'll find that all of them are the same. Now we have 1 digit and the other 2 numbers with 2 digits. So we need to add 0 to make all of them with the same number of digits. Now we need to arrange. You will find that the first number here will be 61. That is the greatest number. And after that will be 0.30. Because 30 is more than 23. And that's how can we arrange from the greatest to the smallest. We will follow the same in question number 9. We have 0.72, 0.5, and 0.69. Just write the numbers. Now because we have here the 5 only 1 digit, so we add 0. All of the whole numbers are the same. So now we can arrange them. 72 will be the greatest number. After that we have 68. After that we have 69. 50 will be the last one. That's how can we arrange from the greatest to the smallest. In this problem we have distance between 2 places. The distance is 34 hundredths of miles. We need to write the distance as this. So all what we need to do, just write 34 hundredth as a decimal. As we said before, we'll just divide the number in two parts. 34, that is the first part, and the hundredth in the second part. 34 will be up, and the hundredth will be down. Now if we need to write it as a decimal, just rewrite the numerator. Because we have two zeros down, it means I put the decimal point after two places from the right. So it will be 0.34. In question number 10, we have the total number of fish are 10. And we have 4 of them are blue. We need to write the decimal that show the part of the blue fish. So how can we solve? At the first, we have 4 out of 10 are blues. So to write it as a decimal, just write the numerator without any change. Now we have 10 down. Because we have only one zero, so just count from the right one digit and put the decimal point. So it will be 0.4. In question number 22, we have 10 animals. 3 of them are horses. We need to write the decimal which represents the number of horses. At the first, we have 3 horses out of the total number of animals, which is 10. So to write it as a decimal, just write 3 without any change. Now we have 10. 10 now is only one zero. So from the right, we just count one digit, then put the decimal point. So the answer now will be equal 0.3.